Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have Melffy Tri-Brigades. Melffys are going to be coming out in Rise of the Duelist, which is in 1 week, I believe. 1.5 weeks or something on those lines. So we're up against Guru for our first match, and let's see how it goes. We're of course going to start off with the Fractar, Stump Naval, Search a Keras. And the main reason why I just thought of this deck is because Melffys, they are beast archetypes, so that's one way to put it. And in terms of Melffys in general, they don't really have the strongest offensive options. They really require play starters to actually start the game. Cards like Rescue Cat or Obedient Schooled, those are really the only ways you're actually able to get a couple of really strong cards on the field. So the Tri-Brigades really do help with that. In this build, I was not playing Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty. If I had, I would have just used these 3 Tri-Brigades just to get a copy of Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty, and that is just a free copy of an Apex Avian, which is a free negate. We normally summon the Cat, and Cat will be summoning out Puppy and Cassie. I will overlay those two in Melffy of the Forest. We detach the Puppy specifically, and we get a search for Tag. We activate Tag, we summon back the Puppy, and we activate Keras. We didn't activate it yet. We go into a Shrike, the Wicked Wings, and then we go into a Felagit, and then Felagit will activate, summoning out that thing, and then we go into a Lugal, the Silver Bullet. So right here, including the impermanence, we have a Banish. We can summon 1 card from our hand, which will return to the hand during the, we can summon 1 card from a graveyard, which will return to the hand during the end phase. So we can summon out Kathy, and it can come back during the end phase. And then we have Puppy, which acts as an extra pop. A Felagit will trigger, and we don't really hit anything off the top. So we're up against him, and he's starting off with Neuron Network. So we immediately have to use the Lugal in order to trigger Shrike, who will later just pop stuff. He normally summons Guru, and I use Puppy's effect to summon Cantalosa, which just pops a free card. I'm not really sure why exactly he quit there. He could have chained Fiendus, but chaining Fiendus, he wouldn't really do anything apart from just setting the final battle and pass. And then Kathy would return to my hand, and then I could just go on with my plays and banish more cards he controls. So I probably could have just ODK'd him from there. If he tries to flip his Guru using the final battle, it'll just be met with an impermanence. There wasn't really much he could do at that point. There was no way of swarming the field. The only options he had was his final battle on Fiendus. And yep, the duel just ended there because he knew that there wasn't really much he could do. So that was our first duel. Let's go on to our next one then. For our next duel, we're up against Shaddoll Thunder Dragon, I believe this is. Yes, definitely does look like Shaddoll Thunder Dragon. I did do best of 3 against him. He opened Shaddoll Fusion every single time, but he just quit early in the other game. So we're going to start off with the Fractar, Dump Naval, Search Keras. We'll normal summon the Cat, and Cat will still summon 2 more things. We'll overlay into Melffy of the Forest. We get the search for a Melffy Tag, and Tag will summon back Puppy. Keras will summon out itself, and then we'll activate Tag, who will get us the summon for Puppy, which can later be turned into Cantalosa as a pop. Keras will trigger a summoning Lugal. Really, I just really wanted to once again, I wasn't running Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty in this build. Otherwise, I would have summoned the Simorgh just as it would just give me a free Apex Avian for negate. And we kind of just set 1 pass. We can summon back Kathy from her hand. And right here we have Melffy time, which can act as a bounce by detaching from Melffy of the Forest. We have Melffy Puppy, who can bounce itself back to summon Cantalosa and pop a card. And as soon as that effect resolves, Melffy of the Forest will trigger, because it will make 1 monster unable to like battle, and it'll negate their effects too. So we're going to start off with a normal summon Thunder Dragon Matrix. He activates Matrix's effect. I let that go through. Activates Shaddoll Fusion, and then he just does a couple of stuff. and he'll use Dragon to try and pop my Melffy time, but I just chain in, and we detach one and bounce back the Construct. He summons back the Trick Clown, and he dumps Shaddoll Beast with his thing, and he draws one. He draws evenly matched, which might not be in his best interest. He uses lights and darks, so I'm scared of him popping this stuff. So I just decide to use a Lugal and my Cathy and Cantallosa early, just so that he can't really pop the Lugal that well. So he's gonna summon Verte Anaconda. He'll get the activation for Shaddoll Fusion, summoning out Construct, and he'll dump a Hedgehog, and then he'll just do more stuff, dumping Roar, getting something back. I don't know how this works. That will be destroyed, and Lugal will trigger, making everything lose attack. So we're gonna normal summon Fenny. We're gonna activate Chaos, who will get rid of 2 to summon the Felgid. And by the way, Felgid is Beast, so it will trigger my Cantallosa, who just pops a card for free. Construct will trigger, who will retrieve the other thing. We'll activate Melffy of the Forest. In case you're wondering why I went for 3 material Melffy of the Forest, you'll see in a second. We're going to attack for some damage, and we go into Negalagia AA Zeus. The reason why I decided to go for a 3 material one is so that if he ever tries and destroys something I control, I can just attach one more thing, which just gives me another blow up of the field. During our end phase, both our Melffys will trigger in the hand, so we just get more advantage. He's going to activate Verte Anaconda. I let that pass. He activates Shaddoll Fusion in this row, so it will get negated with my impermanence. He activates Dragon Hawk, which will retrieve his Roar. I'll just chain my Cathy to get Rescue Cat as a follow-up. He normal summons Dragon. I chain my Puppy, who will summon that out, and who will summon Pony out, actually, because I believe I have burnt through all my copies of Cantallosa, or I might have banished some of some sort. No, I do. Wait, oh yes, the other one is just as Xyz material over here, so I'm kind of forced to just get the Puppy. The Pony will retrieve my Cantallosa, so if I ever use Fenny, I can just summon it back out. He's going to summon Thunder Dragon Dark. He attacks my thing. I'm forced to use its effect to negate stuff. I draw one, I drew another Cathy, so I just put the second one back on the bottom deck. Probably should have summoned out Cantallosa, but I guess I can just summon out a Fenny off Puppy's effect. So he's going to go into Thunder Dragon Titan. He's going to go activate Matrix, which will in turn pop my Negalogia thing. So we're going to activate Fire Formation, and we'll normal summon the Fractar. Since we only run 1 copy of Chaos, we're going to summon out the Shrike, the Wicked Wings, and he will pop the Shrike, and his thing will get banished anyways. And Shrike's effect will let me search a card. During the end phase, he just used evenly matched there. He could have saved it for his next turn, but don't know what his thought process was there. We just summoned out every single Melffy in her hand. Fenny can summon out the Cantallosa during our opponent's turn. Cathy can just search another Rescue Cat as a follow-up. Pony can retrieve any card we want. We're going to use Fenny right here because he summoned Thunder Dragon Duel, which will destroy it. And then Pony will just activate Pony 2 to retrieve a copy of Fenny that I dumped somehow. I don't know. We're going to activate Puppy, who will just get a copy of Veraphon just for now. And he's going to summon Duo again because he somehow retrieved it using Thunder Dragon War, I believe. He's going to go into Titan, and then he gets to revive a Falco. And now he gets to use Thunder Dragon Titan twice because he's using the vanilla Thunder Dragon's effect. So now he's just gonna attack me for a lot of damage. He gets to search for another Thunder Dragon. I'm pretty close to lethal at this point, but I have a ton of resources in my hand right now. So we're going to summon a couple more stuff. We're going to overlay into Ronin, Raccoon, Sundayu. We're going to activate his effect. He's going to chain his Titan to destroy. We're going to search Kagemusha Raccoon token, and he loses. It was a very, very close match. Thankfully, the Ronin Raccoon just came in clutch over there just to copy the attack of his Thunder Dragon Titan and attack over for game. Very close match, and we'll go on to our last one now. For our final matchup, we are up against, I believe this is Dinosaur Nepthys. Not sure why you would mix the two decks. I think Nepthys have effects if they're destroyed of some sort. Don't know, but we'll see how this goes for them. He's gonna start off with we're gonna go first. We're gonna start off with Tenki. We'll discard Fractar, dump Naval, search a Karos. Karos will summon out itself, and at this time I was playing the Simorgh, so I just get a summon for the Simorgh. We normal summon Cathy just so that we can overlay into a Melffy of the Forest. Melffy of the Forest will get a search for the puppy, and puppy will just summon itself during the end phase. Just counting the summons, Karos was summon number 1, Simorgh was summon number 2, the Cathy was summon number 3, and a Melffy of the Forest was summon number 4. So if we did summon an Apex Avian right here, it would have been summon number 5, but for some odd reason I decided to use the Apex Avian last. That was a very risky move on my part. Just summon the Apex Avian first. It might just save yourself from Nibiru. You're going to normal summon Archosaur. We're going to be negating this activation of the Archosaur, and he can't do anything. That's why you don't play Nepthys drag stuff, I guess. I think all the Nephthyses have like effects that they like recover themselves if they're banished, destroyed or something. I don't know, but right here we did have a ton of interruptions. We could have destroyed any card they control with Melffy Puppy. We could have negated and stopped a monster from attacking with Melffy of the Forest, and we could have just searched a follow-up with Cathy. And during our end phase again, Simorgh will trigger, summoning out Apex Avian. He couldn't do much from there. Let's be honest. So those were the duels we had. Some pretty nice duels, and this just shows how many disruptions that Melffys can just put up. Just as long as you're able to make Melffy of the Forest, you have 2 free disruptions, a pop and a negate. If you're able to get a Karos, as long as you have Karos and another Melffy in your hand, you can go into Simorgh, disruption and negate. Just a very, very resilient deck. On top of that, it has it can always just recover material, as it has tons of recursive options. It has tons of way to generate advantage. It's a very strong deck in all, and we will go straight for the deck profile now. So here is the deck. We have 1 copy of Apex Avian to summon for Simorgh, 3 copies of Fractar, 2 copies of Naval, 1 copy of Karos. This is the optimal ratio. Sometimes I just wish I ran more copies of Karos. I mean, I might. If you want to run more copies of Karos, don't stop yourself from doing so. 3 copies of Rescue Cat. This is one of the main play starters for Melffys. 2 copies of Veraphon. It just recovers your Melffys from your graveyard and does more stuff. It's a level 2 too, so if you're able to recover another level 2 Melffy, you can go and do a card like Melffy of the Forest or Excited Melffys, which is super great. 2 copies of Cantalousa, just the extra pops are super useful. 2 copies of Pony, 3 copies of Puppy, 3 copies of Cathy, and 3 copies of Fenny. These are my ratios because I just feel that Pony isn't the strongest Melffy out of them all. Fenny, all of them just are +1s, I believe, except Fenny. Fenny is neutral, but the fact that it just helps you summon another beast from your hand, like Cantalousa, is the main reason why I run him at 3. 3 copies of Melffy Tag is a themed monster reborn, and it's super great if you're able to search it off card like Melffy of the Forest. You can recover the card that Melffy that you may have detached on Melffy of the Forest. So if you detach a puppy, for example, and search Melffy Tag, you can summon back the Melffy puppy, and just like that you have 2 disruptions again. 1 copy of Melffy Hide and Seek, just a quick Pot of Avarice type thing. It's kind of like Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, where you can shuffle 3 of your themed cards into the deck and draw 1. And on top of that, it has a nice protection effect where first time each beast monster would be destroyed by card effect, it is not. And this is for every beast, by the way. So if your opponent would destroy 1 beast you control, say this Feljet right here, and try to destroy this Melffy control. The Melffy won't be destroyed because each beast has its individual protection, which is super nice. 3 copies of Obedient School, another one of your main play starters in terms of Melffys. It does lock you into beasts, which is which is a problem with playing this. Some people just like to keep this at 2, but still, even if it does lock you into beasts, it is a very powerful play starter. It can go into cards like Melffy of the Forest, which is a free search, into cards like Melffy Time. It's just a super duper great card, Obedient Schooled, apart from the fact that it does lock you into beasts, which is one of the main downsides of this. Some people like just run this at 2 in terms of this variant, the Tri-Brigade variant, and just run 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence instead. I just like to play it at 3. 3 copies of Tenki to get your Fractar. 3 copies of Melffy Time just acts as an extra bounce if you search it off a Melffy of the Forest. 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence, the free negates are always nice. 2 copies of Negalogia AA Zeus. This is one of the new cards, and it is absolutely insane. You can rank it up over any Xyz monster that battled, which includes the excited Melffys attacking directly, which is super great. So not only do you get 2,000 free points of damage, you also get a board wipe in the process. All it does is detach 2 material, and then you can send every other card on the field to the graveyard. Just an absolutely insane card. On top of that, during the end phase, all your Melffys will trigger in your hand, so you can just summon them back out even after wiping every single card on the board, which is kind of unfair. 2 copies of Excited Melffys. This is an important card in Melffys because it does give them an offensive option, something Melffys really lacked. They were good at generating advantage and all, but they didn't really have the offensive tools to make them great. And Excited Melffys just helps them do that, as it can let your Melffys attack directly. So if you're able to summon 2 of these, you get 4,000 free points of damage on top of the ability to overlay into this card, Negalogia Aasius, which is super duper great. 1 copy of Ronin Raccoon Sundayu is a nice card, just to just attack over some very difficult cards that you can't attack over. Say something like a Chaos Max Dragon. You can just make this. You can just make a token that copies the Chaos Max Dragon's attack and crash into it to instantly destroy anything. Just a really nice card remover if your opponent has something that's unaffected by stuff. So if they have something like an Ultimate Falcon, this gets over that too. 1 copy of Melffy Mommy doesn't come up too often. It's decent, I guess. Doesn't have any inherent protection from card effects. All it can do is protect itself from damage, and has a Yubel like effect where any damage you take is given to your opponent, but that only happens if it has 5 materials, which is not very likely. But it's a decent card to run at 1, and it used to be one of the main win conditions of Melffys before Excited Melffys got revealed. 2 copies of Melffys of the Forest. This is basically it just searches any card in the entire deck, any Melffy card specifically. So you can search a Melffy Puppy, summon it out during your opponent's turn, and then you can just summon a Cantalosa, which is a super great effect. This is probably one of the better cards in the extra deck. Not just in terms of the engine specifically, not in terms of any offensive or defensive options. 1 copy of Avermax, you can make this pretty easily. This has won me games, for example, against a Trap Tricks dude, just won me a free game. Just a super great card. 1 copy of Tri-Brigade Strike the Wicked Wings. The extra banishes are super useful. 1 copy of Simorgh to summon out Apex Avian, and it's very easy to just summon out Simorgh, especially in terms of Tri-Brigades. Basically how this quick Simorgh works: you use Fractar, discarded, dump naval effect, search Chaos. Chaos will dump any other card of any other beast warrior or any of that stuff to the graveyard to summon it, and by that time you'll have 3 beast warriors or winged beasts, so you can just banish all 3 to summon Simorgh Brit of Sovereignty. And in terms of infinite negates, if you just have another earth or beast monster, you can just summon it. So you can theoretically make Tri-Brigade Melffy infinite negates, as most Melffys are just Earth Beasts, where you just normal summon a Melffy, go into Union Carrier, and during your end phase you can just trigger Simorgh, summon out Apex Avian. you get lots of stuff done, which is super great. One copy of Lugal the Silver Bullet. This is probably the worst Tri-Brigade monster, if not the worst. I just think of getting this out of here, but it does work so well with Shrike, I just have to put it in. One copy of Nightmare Phoenix for back removal, and 2 copies of Felgid. Just summons out cards for free from your hand. On top of that, it triggers cards like Cantallosa, which is super great. And that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.